I was in the 11th or 12th grade, if I remember correctly, when this happened. During the COVID-19 lockdown, my whole family left to live in our home village for a while. Almost a year had passed, and the lockdown was about to be over. In those days, most of the education system shifted online, but since the lockdown was about to be over, the college I went to decided to take physical exams. For the exams, I had to go to our home in the city, and my elder sister came with me so I would not be alone. To get to the story, my sister was in her room, and I was in our TV lounge, near the door, right next to our old air cooler, studying for the exam. It was late at night, and as I was studying, I started hearing a strange voice calling my name. At first, I ignored it, thinking it was nothing, just my mind playing tricks with me. But that strange voice became louder and clearer. It felt so real that it began to creep me out. Trying to make sense of this whole thing, I thought to myself that this sound or voice is probably coming from the air cooler. Mind you, our air cooler was very old and made a decent sound while running. Thinking it's just the sound of the cooler running and I am probably imagining things mostly because that has never happened to me before, I turned off the cooler, but that strange, creepy voice, instead of going away, just became louder and clearer. It felt as if a ghost was calling my name. At that point, I knew that I wasn't imagining things. Terrified, I instantly jumped up from the couch and ran to my sister's room, crying and shaking. My sister was shocked to see me like that. I then told her what had happened, and she went to check the lounge herself. To my surprise, she heard nothing. I was now in a complete shock, but my sister also knew that I wasn't lying because I'd never acted this way before. Seeing me shivering, she tried to calm me and told me that we should pray. So we decided to pray, and after a while, I calmed down and the weird voice disappeared. Still to this day, this whole thing bugs me because I have not experienced something similar to this before or after that day. I also want to say that I'm not someone who scares easily, and I don't usually let my imagination run wild. But that night, something happened that I still can't explain. I grew up in a very rural area in Maine. When I was in high school, I used to sneak out at night and run to my girlfriend's house, a little under a mile away, run back to my Gram's house, have some fun, then sneak her back before the sun came up. For the purpose of this story, it is important to note that she was blind and we would run holding hands. On the way to my Gram's, I noticed some tall grass, we are talking at least 2 feet tall, pushed over and slicked back by something that looked suspiciously like blood. I figured it was a coyote that had dragged something into the underbrush, but I did have a bad feeling about it. Flash forward an hour or so and I am running back with her. She could hear way better than me and told me to stop in the middle of the road, because someone was humming. I stopped dead in my tracks. There are no lights on this road and I felt incredibly uneasy. She kept saying, "I swear someone is humming off to our left," almost exactly where the grass was slicked down. After about 30 seconds I tell her we have to get moving and just started running. I got her home, promised to text her when I got back, and proceeded to start the mile or so back to my house. I was an all-state runner and in the best shape of my life, and I have never run like that before or since. I get about 200 feet from the slick spot and then I see it. 2 bright red pinpoints sitting right off to the side of the road. I just start running as fast as I can and as far over from the pinpoints as I could. I get within 10 feet and I hear the humming. There is some creature sitting just like a panda bear, hunched over and on its butt. As I cross by it, its head turns towards me and that's when I realized the red pinpoints was a set of eyes and the creature looked just like a 100-pound little girl, complete with a horrible grin. I ran so fucking hard that I must have ran the last half mile in 2 minutes flat. I was so freaked out, my Gram found me crying in the mudroom and shaking. I made up some story about needing to clear my head and go for a midnight run, and seeing something awful. She said it was probably a coyote and sent me to bed. The next day we drove in her car to the spot and the grass was still slicked, with what looks like blood. Sometimes I still dream about this and wake up extremely sweaty. I don't believe in monsters or paranormal stuff, but we came across something not right that night.